People say that records were always made to be broken, but some simply are just too great to outdo. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 NFL records that will never be broken. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification to get alerts when we upload. Without further ado, let's jump to number 10. Number 10, Stefan Gostkowski. Gostkowski holds the record for most consecutive extra points made and is known as one of the most consistent kickers in the NFL. The Patriots kicker broke the record at the start of the season back in 2015. The record was previously held by Matt Stover with 422. The record is harder now to accomplish because of the NFL moving the extra point back by 15 yards. Number 9. Belichick and Brady. Belichick and Brady hold the most playoff wins by a head coach QB combo. They've been dominating the NFL together for 18 years and they don't plan to stop. The tandem has recorded a staggering amount of wins in the playoffs. They've also combined to have a 748 winning percentage over their reign, which is unbelievable. Belichick and Brady hold the most playoff wins by a head coach and QB duo with 25. The next closest to that record would be Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw with 14. Number 8. The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills hold the record for most consecutive Super Bowl losses in NFL history with 4 straight. At one point, the Bills were regarded as one of the premier dynasties in the NFL. Unfortunately, they could not get the job done. The streak started in 1991 when Bills kicker Scott Norwood whiffed the 47-yard field goal to win the Super Bowl. In 1992, the Bills lost to the 7-point favorited Washington Redskins 37-24. Bills QB Jim Kelly threw 28 for 58 and 4 interceptions. In 1993, the Bills got blown out by the Cowboys 52-17, which featured 9 turnovers for the Bills. Finally, in 1994, the Bills lost the Super Bowl once again to the same Dallas Cowboys 30-13. The Bills were up 13-6 at halftime before getting outscored 24-0 in the second half. To surpass the record, a team would have to make the Super Bowl 5 straight times and lose all 5, which is highly unlikely. Number 7, Brett Favre. Brett Favre holds the record for most career interceptions thrown with 336. He was the NFL MVP 3 seasons in a row from 1995 to 97 with at least 35 touchdowns in each year, which made him the first to crack 500 career passing touchdowns. These touchdown numbers for Favre came because of his high-risk, high-reward style of play, and all that gunslinging meant a ton of interceptions. Drew Brees is the next active quarterback on the list at 220. He and Eli Manning, who has 215, won't likely come close to 300. Nobody under the age of 30 has more than 108, which is held by Matthew Stafford. Number 6, Don Shula. Former head coach Don Shula holds the record for most wins with 347 and the most regular season wins with 328. Don Shula had a career record of 328, 156, and 6 over the span of 33 seasons with 2 different teams winning 2 Super Bowls. Bill Belichick is 172 wins behind Shula, and at Belichick's current rate, he would pass Shula in 2024. Number 5, Brett Favre. Brett Favre holds the record for the most consecutive starts in the regular season and of all games. He has 297 consecutive starts in the regular season and another 24 in the playoffs to make a staggering 321 games in a row. A player has to play a minimum of 17 seasons, but likely around 19 to 20, avoid injury every step of the way, and play well enough to not get benched. Brett Favre's record ended in December 2010 when he suffered a shoulder injury with the Minnesota Vikings. Eli Manning got to 222 starts before he got benched, and Philip Rivers currently is the closest quarterback to this record. Rivers would have to play another 6 to 7 seasons to top Favre, which is highly unlikely. Number 4, Paul Krause. Paul Krause holds the record for most career interceptions with 81. Even though quarterbacks are throwing more passes than ever, they're also more accurate than ever. NFL games averaged just 1.6 interceptions last season, which was the lowest rate in NFL history. No active player has even 50 picks, let alone 60, 70, or 80. And 31-year-old Aqib Talib and 29-year-old Richard Sherman are the only active players with outside shots at hitting the 50 mark. With the game developing how it is highly unlikely somebody passes this record. Number 3, Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas holds the record for most sacks in a single game with 7 against the Seahawks in 1990. Few have come close, including Thomas again with 6 sacks in a 1998 game. Later on in this game, Kansas City led 16-10 in the 4th quarter with 4 seconds to go. Derek Thomas had already had 7 sacks on the day and came so close to notching his 8th. However, the opposing quarterback scrambled out of his way and threw a touchdown pass, winning the game for Seattle 17-16. Thomas's record is extremely hard to beat because of how much teams focus on building their offensive line and how fast quarterbacks nowadays release the ball. Number 2, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith holds the record for most career rushing yards with 18,355. Frank Gore is more than 5,000 yards away and does not have a lot of gas left in the tank. And beyond that, no other back under 30 is even halfway there. The last few years have also been the most pass-heavy seasons seasons in NFL history. Running backs just don't get enough work anymore, and running backs catching passes are more popular than ever. Smith is one of only 5 NFL players who have amassed over 10,000 career rushing yards and 400 career receptions. Smith and Jerry Rice are the only 2 non-kickers in NFL history to score 1,000 points in their respective careers. Number 1, Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice actually holds multiple receiving records in the NFL, but we're going to focus on 2 of his records that are just simply unbelievable. Jerry Rice currently has 22,895 receiving yards and is 6,616 yards ahead of the second place spot held by Larry Fitzgerald. In order for Larry Fitzgerald to catch Rice, he would need to play 100 more games, which would take him midway through the 2024 season, and that's assuming that he could continue his career average of 70.4 yards per game without missing any time. Another player who could catch him is Antonio Brown, who would need an extra 12,392 yards and would need to play 146 more games and continue his 85.4 yard per game average into his age 39 season. The other candidate is Julio Jones, who has averaged 97 yards per game since entering the league. He would have to maintain that average for at least 8 more seasons. The second record Jerry Rice holds is the most receiving yards in NFL history at age 38 plus. Jerry Rice is number 1 on the list with 4,453, and number 2 is Charlie Joyner with 1,372. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more sports content. As always, we'll see you guys next time.